On this video, I'm gonna show you where to find your first house to flip. My name is Bill Allen. I was a military pilot turned full-time real estate investor, and I have wholesaled and flipped over 800 houses in the past few years, so I know a thing or two about finding houses to flip. When I got started, I found my first house on an auction website. I was actually networking with a realtor who helped me find a rental property in Maryland, and she helped me kind of find listings online, on the MLS, and even on auction websites. So I found a foreclosure auction. I won it on the auction website, and then closed on it. We made $43,000 on that first house. My second house was after I moved down to Pensacola, Florida. I found it just driving by an estate sale, and I pulled in and talked to the seller. I talked to the person running the estate sale and ended up buying their house. I made $45,000 on that deal. The next 5 or 6 houses I flipped after that were all from auction websites. So there was a ton of online auctions going on at the time, and I bought up all of those houses and worked with a 50-50 JV partner, and we flipped those. After that, I started going directly to sellers. So a lot of first-time flippers are thinking they need to go directly to sellers. I think that's a huge mistake. I didn't even do that until my 3rd or 4th year in the real estate industry. The reason being, you spend a lot of money up front to go do that. There's really only 3 things that a flipper needs to focus on in the very beginning. It's finding money, finding deals, and finding contractors to work on your properties. So when it comes to finding deals, I recommend that you start in a more sniper approach where you're not spending a lot of money, you're just spending some time to try to find deals and to kind of bring leads into your database or into your life. So the first way that I'd recommend to go find your first deal is networking. And what that means is going to RIA meetings, going to local meetups. Maybe they're online meetups in your local area or the area that you plan to invest in, and telling them what you want. What are you looking for? So define what you're looking for. Maybe it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath in this price point, $150,000. Maybe you're $120,000 to $180,000 price point in a certain area. And that's what you're focused on. So everybody that you talk to, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a 3-bed, 2-bath in the $150,000 range in this area. When you go to these RIA meetings, a real estate investment association meeting, you're telling them exactly what you want. There's gonna be other landlords there. There's gonna be wholesalers there. There're gonna be other flippers there. There's gonna be lots of people at these meetings. And if you tell them what you're looking for, they're going to see it and look for it and bring it back to you. And they might have exactly what you're looking for or something close right there at the meeting. People are trying to wholesale deals there all the time. RIA meetings are great for networking. The other place that I would network is online. So go on different Facebook groups. That means garage sale Facebook groups, marketplace Facebook groups, buy, sell, trade type groups in your area, and start putting out there exactly what you're looking for. I'm paying cash. I'm looking for a 3-bed, 2-bath, $150,000 house in this area. And just constantly put that out there. You're gonna get some hate, it doesn't matter. Just keep putting it out there, keep putting it out there. And eventually people will say, oh, they'll tag someone, they'll say, I saw this house listed. You will start driving leads and driving traffic that way. The other place is to go to the old school online areas. So Craigslist, there's still deals to be had on Craigslist. You might have a penny saver in your area where you want to put a little ad in there that's not that expensive. There are lots of ways. Talk to other people just in your area, in your network, maybe somebody driving for UPS or FedEx or your postman. If you ever see a house that says for sale by owner or something that's listed, can you please send it to me? Just keep putting it out there exactly what you're looking for. So networking is huge, online, virtually, and in person. The second place is realtors. I mentioned that first deal that I did. I found a realtor that we kind of married up where we were. She was just getting started, and so was I. So she was really hungry for leads, and she was really hungry for commissions. And I was really hungry to do my first flip. So she was willing to take her time to search online on MLS, auction websites, just other realtors that she knew to network for me. I was one of her clients, and she knew that I was very serious about buying a house. I had the cash, I was ready to go, and I was hungry. And so was she. So network with those type of realtors. When you're thinking about networking with realtors, it's not the one who's on all the billboards, the person who's doing 500 deals a year. They have their clients, they have their investor pool, they might be investors themselves. They're not gonna really be that interested in a first-time flipper. I remember when I moved to Pensacola, I met with one of the biggest real estate agents there in my area, and he kind of like blew me off. Just was, okay, yeah, I'll take a look for that. And never followed up with me. I met in his office, he took his time to meet with me, and that was it. I had flipped a couple houses, probably 2 houses by then, and I guess I just wasn't that big of a deal for him. Well, now I am a big deal, and we don't work together, I work with other people. So what I'd say to you is try to figure out who that person is that is as hungry as you in the beginning. And they don't have to be brand new, but they have to be really looking for a commission, because you're gonna want them to go search for you and make offers for you and things like that. So that takes me to the next point, is the MLS. So we have a real estate mastermind called 7 Figure Flipping. We have about 250 members all around the country that are flipping and wholesaling houses professionally. They're still buying on the MLS. I'll say the people that are doing 100 or 200 deals a year, and there's tons of them, they are not buying 100 deals a year on the MLS, but they're buying a couple. And you can find your first deal on the MLS. It is possible still. If you're thinking that there's no deals on the MLS, that's what everybody else is thinking. So start looking, start making offers, and you never know what you're gonna find on there. So the MLS is my third place. So networking, then working with realtors, and they will bring you into the MLS. And there are deals on the MLS, the multiple listing service. So where everybody lists their properties, looking for something that's a little bit more, maybe it's sat on the market for a while, maybe it needs a little bit extra work. There's keywords that you can search for, like handyman special, fixer-upper, those kind of things. Start looking on there. There are deals to be found on there, I'm telling you. Now, the next place is wholesalers. This is something that most people just throw out. They've gotten a couple emails from wholesalers, and a wholesaler is just somebody who puts a house under contract, markets the contract for sale, and makes money on the spread in the middle, basically. They're out there on a regular basis, day in, day out, spending their money to find deals for you. I have wholesaled over 800 houses, okay? Over 800 houses in the past few years. I know a thing or two about wholesaling. I'm gonna give you some gold when it comes to flippers, okay? The way that flippers and wholesalers can work together. You've got to listen to this and write this down. Wholesalers work really hard to find these houses. What a wholesaler is worried about is moving their contract. They tell the seller that they're gonna get the house closed, all this stuff, and they don't wanna cancel the contract. So the problem that you run into as a wholesaler is if you bought a house too high and you can't move that contract, can't sell the contract, a lot of times they have to go back and cancel their contract with the seller. So what they're looking for is they're looking for feedback. And what flippers do is they read their email or their text or their ringless voicemail or however the wholesaler sent it out, and they don't respond. You guys take your time to run the numbers. You say what you can pay, you understand what you can pay, but you never tell that wholesaler. You don't make an offer because it's too far off. Here's an example. I get a house under contract. I send it out to my email list for $150,000. You run your numbers. You spend 20 or 30 minutes as a flipper, a brand new flipper, running your numbers, and you can only pay $125. So you go, you know what? I'm not going to respond to Bill because it would probably be offensive. It will piss him off. He's going to be upset. He's going to get mad at me, and there's no way he's going to take $125. So you don't even email me. Well, guess what? Neither does anybody else. So now I have no reference point on what a flipper would pay. So when I go back to the seller, I have no negotiation point where I'm strong and firm in what I can pay for that house. But if you emailed me and said, hey, Bill, I know you're asking $150, but I can only do $125. I don't know if that works for you, but if it does, I'm here. I can pay cash. I can close in 3 days, no inspection, nothing. I would then have a price point, and we might get $150 or $160, and then I say, hey, it doesn't work. Sorry. What's the worst that can happen? I say no. The best that can happen is you're the only person that responds. And I go back to the seller and I say, hey, I'm sorry, Mr. and Mr. Seller, we can't do it for the price that I had you under contract. We found a few things during the inspection. Some of my financing partners said this, but we can do $120. How does that sound for you? And then I know that if I can close it at $120 and you're gonna pay $125, I can make $5,000 in the middle. I actually have a confident number that I can go back to them and talk through. So that's one thing, working with wholesalers. We have a few members in our mastermind group that are doing hundreds of deals a year. Some of them are only working with wholesalers and realtors. So we have a member in San Diego who's done over 80 deals last year in San Diego, just working with wholesalers and realtors. So this is absolutely a strategy that can be done, and he predominantly builds his business around that. He's going into multiple markets now, doing multiple deals with wholesalers in many markets. So working with wholesalers is a great strategy. Don't lose that. A lot of people just say, oh, I don't want to pay the assignment fee. I don't want to pay more to working with wholesaler. I'm just going to go market myself. Well, there's a lot of money that gets spent, a lot of infrastructure that gets built out, and a lot of processes that the wholesaler has. So don't miss that. Get on every list with wholesalers. Even if their numbers are way off, they're asking too much, it doesn't matter. You never know when that deal is going to come through that makes sense for you, that doesn't make sense for anybody else. And when you run your numbers, make an offer, okay? So networking, working with realtors, MLS, and working with wholesalers. These are the ways that a first-time flipper should start, in my opinion. Do not go start a big marketing machine to start looking for your own flips. You've got to find the money, you got to find the contractors, and all you need to do is find that one deal, that first deal. And these are some places that you can find it. All right, now that you know where to find your first deal, check out this next video where I'll talk to you about the 10 things that you should look out for and watch out for on a bad deal.